Welcome back to the Marriagepreneur podcast. This is the space where faith meets purpose, partnership meets strategy, and legacy becomes a lifestyle. I'm your host once again, Lakeisha Taylor Alston, and today we're diving into a topic that every woman, every wife, every entrepreneur, and every couple wrestles with at some point. How do you actually thrive and stay balanced while doing it? Not just functioning, not just surviving, but thriving with intention, with joy, and peace. If you're feeling stretched, overwhelmed, pulled in so many different directions, this episode is going to help you meet you right where you are. Let's start by redefining thriving. What is thriving? Thriving is not about doing everything. Thriving is about doing the right things in the right season and with the right posture. Thriving is living aligned but not rushed. It's about moving with purpose, not pressure, operating from the overflow, not depletion, choosing peace over perfection. You hear me saying that a lot. Building a life that feels good on the inside, not just one that looks good on the outside. Now, balance, on the other hand, is not about equal distribution, it's about intentional prioritization. Prioritization. Balance asks what matters most this season? What needs my attention today? What can wait? What can be delegated? What can be released? When you understand that balance is fluid, not fixed, you stop chasing perfection and start embracing a rhythm. So, what I want you to do, strategy number one, I want you to set seasonal priorities. One of the biggest mistakes that we make in trying to give everything 100% at the same time, that's not balance, that leads us to burnout. So, thriving requires seasonal clarity. Ask yourself, what season am I in right now? Maybe it's a season of building. Maybe it's a season of resting. Are you healing or learning, expanding, maybe reconnecting, preparing, or maybe you're in pruning? Identify your season to give yourself permission to focus on that. And especially if you're married, identify your season and give your marriage or your position in your marriage or the place where you are the opportunity and the permission to focus on that. Write down your three priorities for this season, not 10, not 12, not 20, just three. And then everything else becomes supportive, not the central part. This is how you protect your energy, your peace, and of course, your purpose. Number two, I want you to create boundaries that actually hold. Boundaries in thriving is just, you have to have them. It's actually impossible to thrive without having boundaries. Boundaries are not walls, they are guardrails that keep you aligned with your purpose. There are few boundaries that matter the most: your time, your calendar. How does it actually reflect your calling versus everyone else's expectations? And I know this is hard, but in being true to yourself, you really have to sit down and look at your time management and what you're putting your energy and your effort towards. You may have to cut out some family obligations, but ask yourself first before you cut them out, how can I do it differently? Number two, I want you to look at your energy. If this task or whatever you're completing is draining you, you need some distance from it. So again, you have to sit down and reevaluate, how is this working in my life today? You can't put away all obligations, but maybe you need to step back so that you can reapproach. Relationships, number three. Not everyone should get access to every single part of you. And I'm going to say this with caution. I don't want you to put these boundaries up necessarily in your marriage. If it's necessary, again, do it prayerfully if it needs to be done. But not everyone else needs to have every single access and every single part of you each and every day. Number four, You cannot pour from an empty cup, and you cannot build legacy from a place of exhaustion. Please hear me again. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So, taking that time for yourself, pouring into you, loving on you is very important for you to be there for the things that you need to get done, for you to build, for you to be great in your marriage and great in your business. So, continue to self love and self care. Make those days count. And number five, your digital space. Sometimes the boundary is simply, I'm logging off today. I'm not going to sit here and return all of these emails. I'm not going to sit here and respond to every single text. You have to have cutoff times that just allow you to put up a boundary between how people can directly access you, especially since texting has become one of our normal ways of communicating nowadays. For me, it's been after a certain time, I'm just not answering texts, especially business. I have the people in my favorites, and those are the only ones that can get through to me after a certain time. And my access to me is not again until the next morning. So just be mindful of how you are allowing people to access you through your technology. What you want to do is try to each week just work on it because you can't just snap your fingers and change. Just try to set a boundary goal and reinforce each week. Handle one at a time and remember your priorities. You have them written down. Check in, put them on your calendar or put them in your phone. Look at it and make sure that all of your actions and your boundaries are there to support your three main goals. Number three, this is the third strategy. Build the systems that support your life. If you want to thrive, you want to work not harder, but smarter. One of my favorite themes. Let's work smarter, not harder. Systems create space, systems create peace, systems create consistency. So, here are a few systems that I can help you thrive with. If you don't already have one, a morning and evening routine, not just routine, but actually let's call them rhythms, which is about flexible, intentional, and grounding. Because sometimes even the routines can just become a little mundane as we move forward. So we want to find a rhythm of our life that makes us feel good on both the inside and the outside. Number two, communication systems, especially for couples. You might need to have weekly check ins if you're running a business together. If you're entrepreneurs, maybe not in the same business, maybe you just need monthly check ins. Do you need to know where each other are? Do you need to have a shared calendar? And do you need to have, well, I'm going to answer that for you. You actually need to have clear expectations. And maybe that's something that you all need to talk about. And however that you communicate those things, whether it's through an email or text or over dinner, just make sure that you're being clear in your communication systems. What do your home management systems look like? Meal planning, cleaning. Do you outsource when possible? I'm going to say to you, outsource when possible. Outsource the things that you think that you and your husband can handle or if that he's okay with you handling and vice versa and that you're okay with him outsourcing certain tasks to other people. You want to take a look at your business systems. Do you have automations in place? Do you have templates, delegation, and set up workflows? This is important as an entrepreneur to work on these things. Sometimes we're just working the business, and the business is then overworking us. You have to sit down and set up your back office. Do you have just communication emails to reply to new business coming in, new opportunities, and stuff like that? AI is a great tool to use for these examples, and it's much easier to put these systems in place. So use them. And then again, your self care system. When are you getting rest? What are your non negotiables for addressing and dealing with your own wellness, your faith, and your spiritual practices? So these are all of the systems that we want to have in place. When we put our systems in place and we stand on those things, we will position ourselves to thrive. We will feel less chaotic, and we will choose areas in our life that make us feel good. So ask yourself which of these systems will help to make your life easier. Again, I want to just say a few systems to help you thrive: having morning and evening rhythms, morning and evening, your communication, your home management, your business system, and your self care system. The fourth thing that I want you to focus on in strategy is honor your capacity. This is a big one. Thriving requires honesty, especially with yourself. Your capacity is not static, it shifts based on your season, your health, your responsibility, and your emotional bandwidth. When you honor your capacity, you stop overcommitting yourself, overextending, over overperforming, and overcompensating. And you start resting, delegating, asking for help, saying no, saying not now, saying I need the support. Thriving is not just about doing more, thriving is about doing what matters. If I could share a personal story with you, in 2020 during the pandemic, my pandemic experience was a lot different because it was at a time in my life where I wasn't healthy. So I didn't experience COVID like everyone else did as far as the panic. I was literally trying to breathe and walk during that time. But the only thing that saved my financial life at the time to be able to still contribute what I could to my household was actually my property management business. But I still had a staging business, a real estate company. I still had a retail shop, and I was trying to figure out how I could do all of these things. And sickness didn't allow me to thrive like I wanted to thrive. So I had to figure out and start rebuilding with putting appropriate systems in place, because if you get to a point of burnout or get to a point where you cannot function the way that you're looking to function, or your business is all on you, it's not going to be good for you if you can't perform. So building these systems when you can, when you're in a great season of your life, is the best thing for you to do, because as we know, good times come, good times go. Bad times will come, bad times will go. And we need and should want to be able to hold up our business practices, systems, plans, whatever we've been dreaming about and working towards. We want to make sure that those things can continue to thrive. That is what thriving should actually look like. So, this is something that I learned in real time about thriving, and how to basically do some things better so that we could continue. My husband continued to work while I was dealing with my health, but I felt at the time like I wasn't a partner living up to her part of the roles, the tasks, the equation. And that's really because I didn't have my systems in place. So as you move through this week, I want you to remember you were never designed to carry everything by yourself. You were designed to only carry what is aligned. Thriving is a destination, it's a rhythm. Balance is not perfection, it's discernment. Your life, your marriage, your business, your purpose, they will all flourish when you give yourself permission. When you give yourself permission to slow down, prioritize, and breathe. When you take inventory for your life and figure out what's working for you, that's still making you to feel good while you are working good. So, thank you again for joining me today. I hope this episode has blessed you. Share it with someone who needs a reminder that thriving is possible and balance is obtainable. Until the next time, keep building, keep believing, keep blossoming into everything God has called you to be.